Today we're taking a closer look at Ford's other new Mach, the 2021 Ford Mustang Mach 1. So ever since we got wind of the Mach 1 being an option from Ford a couple years ago, we've been excited to get one here in the studio. Now there's a lot of opinions on the internet right now about the Mach 1. Now it's just the same as a Bullet, or it's a GT with stickers, or no shaker, then it's not a Mach 1. Well, if you want a shaker, we offer one from CDC, you're welcome to put one on. And from the factory, classic Mach 1s didn't have shakers either, so it doesn't necessarily have to have one to be a Mach 1. But what makes this car a Mach 1? It's like, yes, it's a parts bin special, we'll get to that in a minute, but where does this car really fit into Ford's line? You know, it is designed to be the replacement for the Bullet, but it is an upgrade. You know, a lot of people are comparing this car to the GT350 since the GT350 went away and now the Mach 1 showed up. Is it designed to compete with it? Well, not directly, but it actually does a very good job. So let's look at the two of them here. Your GT350, 526 horsepower, 429 pound-feet of torque, 5.2 liter flat plane crank, and an 8,250 RPM redline. Now the Mach 1 again uses the engine out of the Bullet. So 480 horsepower and 420 pound-feet of torque, giving it a little bit of an edge to the GT. I'm gonna put them both on a drag strip, and it's gonna be a driver's race, unless the Mach 1 has the optional 10-speed, at which point that GT350 is gonna be looking at some Mach 1 taillights. These cars weren't built for the drag strip, they were built to handle, and that's where the Mach 1 really shines. Many engineers from Ford have said this is probably the best handling Mustang ever built. So the 2021 Mach 1 starts off as a performance pack GT, which again, I see this more as like the Boss 302 was in 2012 and 2013. It's an upgrade to a GT. It's not meant to compete with a 350, even though it can. This is more of an upgrade from a GT Mustang. Same way the Boss was, and even the owner of this car actually traded his Boss 302 to get this Mach 1. But you're getting a parts bin special, which a lot of people complain about. I think it's a good thing, because you're getting good parts. The engine under the hood is the Coyote engine from the Bullet. So it has the GT350 intake manifold and the free-flowing filter, along with the 85mm throttle body. You're also getting a 3160 Tremec 6-speed manual, and you're also getting an optional 10-speed. The rear subframe is out of the GT350 and GT500, so it has better toe links and stiffer bushings. You're also getting the diff cooler from the GT500 built into the back of this car. So again, yes, it's a parts bin car, but they're good parts. You've got Magna-Ride suspension, and the case of this car, this actually has the optional handling pack, which takes that handling even one step further. You've got 19x11s in the back and 19x10.5s up front, wrapped in Pilot Sport Cup 2s, 305s and 315s, so you're getting a lot of rubber to the ground. That handling pack also comes with some better suspension tuning and a really killer rear spoiler with a gurney flap built in. Like I said, this wasn't designed to replace the GT350, but you can't help but comparing them because there's so much performance. There's not that much of a difference between the two of them. You get so much performance out of the Mach 1. Now, yes, you don't get that crazy 8250 redline and that killer sound of the flat plane crank, and the 350 gets a little bit edge on brakes as well. But as far as anything goes handling-wise and suspension-wise, this is going to be just as quick as that 350 is. Now, enough talking about it. Let's take it out and go for a ride. Well, like I said, the Mach 1 is based off a GT performance pack, and the owner of this car, when he ordered it, he ordered everything for performance. So basically, he got the Mach 1, the handling pack, and the Recaro seats. I mean, he wanted the car, he wanted only the things that made the car basically performance-wise more fun to drive. Yeah, sound-wise, it definitely sounds a little more aggressive than your stock GT as soon as you drive it, but everything else in the interior is very familiar. I mean, the transmission feels different. Again, I'm used to a GT350, I did own one, so this is very familiar to me. It's obviously different than driving the GT, but this has the GT cluster in it, has the large screen, and like the Shelby, the chassis number is right on the dash on the passenger side. Now again, this is a handling pack car. This has the Sport Cup 2s, which I'm very familiar with. They are extremely sticky tires. The 350 had a lot of tram lining issues where the car would kind of sort of pull around because of the stickiness of the tire. I'm kind of expecting the Mach 1 to be the same way. Now, it's one thing that is new in 19 is the rev matching, which is a really nice feature, especially on a car that you might take to the track, which is really what this is built for, especially with the handling pack. I mean, Sport Cup 2 is not what you would call a good street tire. It is a track tire that gets away with calling itself a street tire. So like I said, they are extremely sticky. They look bald when they're brand new. Everybody thinks they're already worn out. It's just the way the thing is. But I mean, it allows you to do this. Like, it just point and shoot as far as the tires go. Now, around the highway, we're doing like 60 miles an hour, and actually the trim lining is not as bad as my 350 was. I expected with the Sport Cup 2s, you kind of get a little bit of that. There are adjustable strut mounts in the hailing pack of the Mach 1. Allows you to dial in some more camber if you wanted it. My opinion, I'm gonna guess that 350 probably has more camber set up from the factory than the Mach 1 does, which probably has something to do with some of the trim lining. I'm getting it a little bit, but not really that noticeable. But the transmission feels solid. I mean, the 3160 just shifts different than the MT82. I mean, I've owned both of them, and you can tell the difference. I mean, it has a more positive feel when you shift it. And I'm not gonna say it's bulletproof by any spec, but compared to the MT82, it is definitely a welcome addition. And that's what I was saying back with the parts bin part of this car. I mean, Ford picked the right parts. They picked good parts. I mean, it's a lot of the right stuff in the car. And it's like, yeah, can you buy a GT? Can you make it do what the Mach 1 does? You absolutely can. But in the case of the Mach 1, I mean, you get something special in that it's a Mach 1, and you get all these parts from the factory with a warranty. Now, this particular Mach 1 belongs to a friend of mine. Like I said, he traded his Boss 302 in to get this car, and his Boss, he's driven all over the country. I mean, he's done track days with it. He runs Rally North America. I'm sure you guys are familiar with that. When he saw the Mach 1, he just knew this was the replacement he was looking for. I mean, his car wasn't like it was worn out or anything, but he was ready for something new. And I guess he wanted this for the handling, and I did promise him I wouldn't beat on it too much since it has 73 miles on it. It's a brand new car. But, I mean, we know how quick the Bullet engine is with the 373 gears. We don't have to really beat on to discover that, but the car feels planted. I mean, the road we're on now, it's got some good corners here. We'll come in and downshift and use the brakes a little bit. This is a fun section through here. But it feels every bit as planted as my 350. And with the MagnaRide, it rides nice too. That's the nice thing with the MagnaRide is you don't have to give up ride quality to get a car that handles well. And this thing does handle amazing. We're heading back to our shop now, and the road we're on here honestly really shows off the suspension too, because it's a crappy country road in Pennsylvania. We got a lot of these, and it's nothing but bumps and dips, and you know, it is curvy, but it's not a fun road by any stretch. But the car still feels solid. I mean, yeah, it's a brand new car. I would hope for, you know, $55,000 that it feels solid, but the suspension is nice because it's not rough to drive on here. I've been through here in some other cars that don't have as nice a suspension as this does, and yeah, this road can be pretty brutal. Whether you look at the Mach 1 as a cheaper option than a GT350 or the best Mustang GT ever, either way, it's a fun car to drive, especially when you find some twisty roads. And while Ford has used that Mach name on another vehicle, Ford is still proving that the Mach 1 performance and the legacy are alive and well.